Okay, so I'll get going. So welcome to our first Neon webinar tonight. We're excited about it, and it looks like it should be interesting. We are focusing on the Choice Neighborhood action activities. And for that, we'll have Brittany go through the process with y'all. And then don't hang up after we're done with that. There are some updates we'd like to give you, and I will be sending out a follow-up handout type of thing for everyone that attended, so you can have references related to some of the topics we talked about. If you do have, you're going to all be muted right now, and then we do want you to try and use that chat over in the right corner, and that's where you can ask your questions. If you're a little challenged with that tool, feel free to connect with us offline after the meeting using our email. Obviously, you know how to get hold of us, and we want to make sure that everybody has a chance to understand and get some feedback. So from there, we will get started. Brittany, you ready to roll? Uh-oh. Are you there?
I am.
Okay, so shall I move to slide 2?
Please do. Well, this slide is just about our weekly webinars. So every Friday we are doing webinars at 2 o'clock. If you got a text message about today's meeting, you'll probably get a text message also about our Friday webinar series. Each week you'll have a different one of us, different Near West Side staff person hosting. And then we like to bring in special guest speakers. It is only 30 minutes, so we don't try to keep people too long. So it's real get in and get out. Last week we had State Representative Evan Goyke. Not this Friday, but the following Friday, we are looking more into having more of a breakdown about our action activities.
And I will chime in, the other reason this slide kind of got overlooked is the pretty flowers. So many of you noticed we do have lots of tulip bulbs. Last fall, 6,000 tulip bulbs were planted in the Near West Side. I would say take a close look at some of the on and off ramps at more major intersections, and you might see something looking really pretty. So that was the idea here, is just to focus on that. Take a look. If you do have pictures of plants you've put in, please send them, because we want to make sure everyone can enjoy the beauty of the Near West Side. Thank you. The agenda is we're checking in. We're going to review those action activities. We will discuss a little bit about a focus group coming up next week. As I said, there are additional updates, and then we will wrap it up. Be sure as you have questions to use the Zoom chat. And if you have questions or concerns, please follow up with us.
Awesome. All right, so it's my turn. So for those who don't know, I am Brittany Roberson, the Choice Neighborhood Initiative Coordinator. If you haven't heard about Choice Neighborhood is a $1.3 million grant that was awarded to Near West Side partners. Muted myself.
Brittany, we lost your audio.
There, yeah, I accidentally pressed the mute button because I was trying to admit somebody at the same time.
Okay, I'll take care of that.
Thank you. But it's a $1.3 million grant over 3 years. The goal of the grant is to develop a transformation plan, but another big portion of that is that we are to work with a public housing development. And for us, that is College Court, which is located on 33rd and Highland. Actually, in the picture, you can kind of see part of the building back there. But it is 251 units, all 1 bedrooms reserved for seniors and those with disabilities. So there are 3 different focus areas for the group: neighborhood, people, and housing. So neighborhood, we want to look at how we can improve our commercial corridors, and then the economy and the safety conditions in the neighborhood for everybody: the residents, people that work in the neighborhood, people that play in the neighborhood. People looks at those individual assets that we have in a neighborhood, from nonprofits to businesses. looking to see how we can improve, again, the quality of life for residents in the entire neighborhood. And of course, housing looks at our housing stock. So looking at our home ownership, looking at our rental opportunities, and just making sure that it is inclusive for everyone. All right, so now we are on to the action activity. So I told you that the grant is $1.3 million. A large portion of that, about $950,000 into our action activities. So the idea of action activities is that they have to be projects that can be completed in 1 year. There are some parameters around it. It can't be projects that involve us requiring land or like things that the county, city, or state are supposed to cover. So there are some stipulations. In April, we put out a call asking people to submit their ideas for projects for the and so we ended up with 49 projects. So thank you to everyone who took the time to submit their ideas. Now we have it numbered down to 14 projects. And here is the precursor that I want to give everybody before we actually get into the projects. Because going from 49 to 14 is a big jump. But a lot of our ideas kind of mashed together. So what we did as we were going through and reviewing them is we kind of put them together because a lot of them fell under the same umbrella. And so a lot of our plans, or a lot of the projects you'll see today is that way. Some of the plans, as we reviewed them, they were things that as we tried to estimate time, is that it wasn't something that we would be able to complete within a year. So some of those things we are trying to work into the actual transformation plan because we know that it'll take a little bit more time than a year. It gives us a year to get these action activities done. So we want to make sure that whatever we're doing, we can get it complete in that time. As we go through the projects, things I want you to think about is this project something that you think will make a big impact in the Near West Side? One of the fun parts about tonight is that you'll get a chance to vote. So after we go through the project, we'll pull up the poll for everybody to vote. We'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. Really probably like a minute because it's really not long at all. It's one question. So probably like a minute to respond to the question, and then we'll move on to the next project. What I will ask is those, because I can see some of our people who submitted projects, we want to make sure that all of the projects have an even base to be able to move forward. So what I'll ask you to do, because we in the projects, nobody is identified, I ask you not to identify yourself. So I know some people might want to do it. Let's not do that today. All right, so with that being said, we will get started with our first project.
I'm stuck, Brittany. Are you there?
I am.
Okay, here we are. And you are going to have to do the poll, I think, but we'll check it out.
I can handle that very easily. All right, so then just so everybody knows, like I said, we put that call out. We got it numbered down. So some of the projects you will see tonight look at like transforming vacant lots, improving community or improving green space, reconstructing bus stops, and community art. All right, so our first project is being named Alleyway and Streetlight Improvements. So the goal of this, and as we go through each project, you'll only get a sentence about the project because the whole ideas haven't been worked out as to like what the breakdown of each thing will look like. So what we really want to do is get your input on like whether or not from a baseline, if we think that this will make an impact in our neighborhood. So again, this project is alleyway and street lighting improvements. The goal of it is to clean up and increase lighting in critical alleyways. So now, here's our first test. We're gonna do this poll. All right, so right now, everyone should poll open. You just pick it and you submit your idea for us so that we can see. And then we'll share so everybody will know, but people won't know what you submit.
Please ask your questions here. Oh, how many times can you vote is a question. You will vote on each project. So there's 14 and you get a vote at every single one. We're just really weighing what the basic overview is and what kind of impact you feel it will offer to the near west side.
All right, so I'm hoping that everyone has had the opportunity to vote. Oh, wait, we got 23 out of 28. So unless they're counting like staff people, we're not voting staff.
Oh, that's true. And then I just heard the doorbell. Did you let the other person in, Brittany?
I did.
Okay.
This is Lindsay. I'm also monitoring the door.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will stop monitoring the door.
The division of labor is strong here.
All right. So at this time, we're going to close our first poll. All right. And I'll be nice and share the results so everybody can see.
Oops.
All right. So it looks like most people think that it will have somewhat of an impact. Barb, are you making note of this or should I do it?
I made note of it.
Okay, I know we talked about it, so I just wanted to make sure. Awesome. All right, so then everybody will just have.
Brian's yelling at me, funny. Go ahead.
All right, I think we can now move to 2.
Okay.
All right, so our second project is an art/pop-up space activation. So the idea is to create a space to be used by artists, entrepreneurs, community services, and other residents or groups needing a space to meet or showcase ideas. Again, you'll get a poll in just a second. All right, go ahead and get those votes in for us.
This is fun to watch.
It is. All right, so we're at 22. We've got a couple of more people who need to vote. All right. Hope everyone got the opportunity to vote. Okay, I see some comments popping in. Again, I will repeat, if you submitted a project, please keep yourself unidentified for which project. But thank you for being so excited. All right, so we're gonna share the results for this one. 4 is winning so far out of our numbers. All right. Okay, Barb, I think we can.
Ready to roll? Okay.
Project 3, Artist Safety Street Planters. The goal is to install large concrete planters at key intersections to prevent driving in parking lanes along 27th Street and other major corridors. We will relaunch the poll. Go ahead and take your votes. All right, polling is closing for this one. Sharing results. 5 is winning for that one. Significant impact, awesome.
Whoop. Sorry.
Or you need me to bring it back up? All right. Project 4 is a bus stop revamp. The goal is to create and install vinyl treatments for bus stops to showcase artists and branding of the Near West Side. And vote.
New message. Okay, we got it.
Okay. Polling is closing. All right, sharing results. This one is a tie between neutral and somewhat noticeable impact. Stop sharing results, and we can move to project 5. All right, project 5 is a business facade grant. The goal is to increase funds available for small business facade grants to improve the exterior of commercial properties. Relaunching poll. Go ahead and take your votes for us. Rod.
I know. How exciting.
All right, we got about 6 more seconds to get our votes in.
Okay, so if you just logged in, there's a poll there and you can answer it. You want to repeat it, Brittany, since a couple people came in late there?
So this project is a business facade grant. The goal is to increase funds available for small business facade grants to improve the exterior of commercial properties. All right, polling closing for this one. Sharing results. All right, so we're going with 4 as our highest number for that. Somewhat noticeable impact. All right, so project 6 is Thatch Triangle. The goal of it is to complete the redevelopment of the green space and bus stop at 35th and State. Relaunching poll. Take your votes.
Brittany, can you tell everyone who FATS is?
Kind of. So Thatch Triangle is named Thatch Triangle because there, if you've ever noticed at 35th and State, there is a tree. And if you actually go up, there is this stone there that is actually in memory of E. Joe Fats Henke, who was president of the State Street Advancement Association. Can I tell you what the State Street Advancement Association is? No, I've had the hardest time finding information on it. So if you know, please feel free to share it with us.
And thanks for the explanation. So that's why it's FATS Triangle. We just shortened
So
it.
that was his nickname, and so Thatch Triangle now.
Yay!
All right, closing polling. All right, so the biggest winner for this is neutral. I got to share the results. There are the results so you can all see yourselves. All right. Stop sharing and we'll go to, there we go. All right. Project number 7 is the Fresh Food Fund. The goal is to provide current convenience stores with equipment and a grant to increase fresh food offerings. Relaunching poll. Please take your votes. Okay, we have about 6 more seconds to get our votes in. And I see the questions popping up, and things that I can tell you is that some of these we will have to answer after we go through the projects because we may need someone else to answer them for us.
Yeah.
All right, so closing polling now, Sharing results. Okay. So our lead for that is significant impact. Go to, yep. All right, project 8 is the garbage/recycling public collection bins. The goal is to install bins in public areas and include space for advertising on the bins. Launching poll. Please take your votes. All right, poll is closing now. And results. So our poll winner at this point is 3, neutral. All right.
All right.
Ready for project 9. Project 9 is the Highland Park upgrade. The goal is to update and maintain the county playground on Highland Boulevard near Harley-Davidson. Poll launching. Please take your votes. About 6 more seconds. Vote in. Polls closing. Sharing results. Oh, this one is hard. All right, so it's even around the board for project 9.
I'm gonna try, my print screen decided to freeze. Hold on a moment, just to, uh-oh. Whoa! Okay, we'll see what happens. So number 9 was tied. Okay, I'm ready. Number 10 is up, Brittany.
All right, project 10, neighborhood house garden park upgrade. The goal is to provide new amenities for the garden park, including swing sets, fencing, speakers, lighting, and other upgrades. Launching poll. Please take your votes. Fifteen more seconds to get your votes in. Polling closed. Sharing results. Front runner for this is number 4, a somewhat noticeable impact on the near west side. All right, ready for project 11. All right, project 11 is the near west side mural project.
Hello, something's going crazy.
There we go. All right, the mural, nope, that's not right.
Sorry.
Oh,
We're on 10.
wrong.
Right?
Okay, go back.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know what I hit.
Here it is, there it is. You gotta be, if you press enter, it will move. Okay, so actually project 11 is the near west side historical trail. The goal is to develop a historical trail by revamping old Milwaukee Police Call Boxes to mark historical locations and events throughout the near west side. Launching poll. Please take your votes.
And I did receive a note that some folks may be having a hard time, they didn't get the poll. So if that's the case, do let me know that what you didn't get, what numbers, and I will follow up with you so we can make sure and get your response.
Mm-hmm. All right, polling closed. Sharing results. So it looks like this one, the big pools are, there's a tie between it having little impacts in the near west side and neutral. Impact in the near west. All right, we are ready for project 12. All right, so project 12 is the near west side mural project. The goal is to engage local artists to design and implement murals across the near west side with a special priority on Vliet Street. Please take your votes. $15 more seconds to get your votes in. All right, polling closed, sharing results. So it looks like our score for this is that the impact is somewhat noticeable impact in the near west side. Project 13, the new State Music Park. The goal is to create open air music pocket park at New State, which is located at 2616 West State Street. Launching poll. Please take your votes. $15 more seconds. Poll closing now. Sharing results. Our front runner is 5, that this project will have significant impact in the near west side.
Hold on to that. Let me see if, oops, sorry, that's my bad. My print screen doesn't want to print again. So it's 5 significant impact. We'll be on the video, we're good. Okay, you're ready, Brittany?
Yes, let me just stop sharing results. Go right ahead.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't want to do it. Okay, onward ho.
Right there. Right. That's right. We just said project 13. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So project 14, our final project, is the Voices of the City. The goal is to engage residents to share messages of hope on medallions that will be turned into benches or other structures across the 7 neighborhoods. Launching poll. Please take your votes. All right, 15 more seconds to get your votes in. Poll closing now. Hearing results. All right, so it looks like our front runner for this is that it will make significant impact in the near west side. You able to get that one, Barb? Or you know?
Got it.
All right, awesome. So with that being said, we have wrapped up our voting on our 14 action activity projects. So thank you all for taking the time to vote. Thank you to everybody who submitted ideas. We really appreciate it. We had a ton of really great projects. Again, remembering that if you submitted a project and you didn't see your project come up in the 14, know that it is no disrespect, that what we did was a lot of the projects kind of fell into the same bucket. So we just combined the projects. And some of them, again, we knew we were going to take longer than a year to implement. And per our grant, we know that we have to do it within a year. So what we're trying to do is work those other projects into our plan as long as they meet the criteria for HUD. All right, so the final thing you'll hear from me today is about focus groups. So next week, Wednesday, we will be hosting a virtual focus group at 6 o'clock at the same location, you know, or wherever you're at 6 o'clock next week, Wednesday. If you are interested in participating, please send me an email and I can get you the link so you can get registered into that, that Zoom to participate. It only takes about 45 minutes, not very long at all. It's a very intimate conversation, just us getting a more understanding of how people feel about the resources that we have in the neighborhood. So focus group questions are broken into 3 buckets, which are our grant focuses of people, housing, and neighborhood. So with that being said, thank you.
And then also, we can do small breakout groups. So that's what we'll do is if there's 20 people on the call, we'll end up breaking it into groups of probably 4 or 5, depending on how many facilitators we have. So it won't be a total chaos. So it will work accordingly and everyone will be able to have a voice.
All right. So I'm just going to, Barb, I don't know if you want to keep going. I'll go check to see if there were any questions and then we could go back after.
Okay. So I'll carry forward and we do have a moment for questions and we'll give you a second there if you just want to type or bring anything up. I'm going to go through a handful more slides, so you can definitely keep typing away. We did have a couple folks or some questions come in before, so we'll address those at the very end. And that should wrap us up. We do have a website that's being updated as often as possible. It used to be probably every hour as our crisis began. And I think it slowed down a little bit, but many thanks to Lindsay, who has been keeping her eyes out for any resources. We're hoping that by having a one-spot shop for you, you'll be able to get the information you need. So please make sure and take advantage of our website. Plus there's a lot of other things. You'll notice the CNI grant on there and the other initiatives, events and whatnot. And wash your hands. I guess I should add, wear your masks now, right? Okay. Updates going on in the neighborhood that are important to note. What top picture on my left is Neighborhood House, and you will see folks out there distributing food from Hunger Task Force. Neighborhood House will be distributing food boxes next week, Wednesday, and we want all residents to know about that. And it'll be from 11 to 12, I believe. They're still firming up details. If Jeff's on, he can give those to us. And pardon me?
He is, but we
oh, well, Jeff, can you add a comment and give us details? I don't have that like on the very bottom. It's gonna mess everything up. Maybe my notes will show. I don't know. Can you see my notes? Oh, do you see my notes there?
No.
Oh, okay.
Jeff can speak about it.
Still learning. So I will be sending out a separate email with this information. And the key there is you need to bring ID and be from one of two zip codes, 53208 or 53233. Another initiative that is...
Sorry, Barb. Jeff is unmuted, so he can talk about it.
Thanks, Jeff. Go ahead.
Is it working now? Hi. You've got it all right. It's at 11 o'clock, and that's next week, Wednesday, the 27th. And you don't have to get out of your car. We hand it right into your car. So we're COVID sensitive. So, and there'll be a variety of both non-perishable, fresh produce and meats available from Hunger Task Force.
And then the other plug too is it will be occurring more. You will be eventually turned into a pantry.
Right. Yeah, we actually the big news is today we hired a food pantry manager. So Neighborhood House will be starting a food pantry probably late June, early July. We'll be having it on Wednesdays, every Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday from 11 to 12, and excuse me, from 12 to 2, and Thursdays from 5 until 7. And so I'll just make sure, Barb, you know when the pantry is open, and I'll also advertise it on the Neighborhood House social media sites.
Cool. Thanks, Jeff. So I will send along more information regarding that, and they will also long-term need volunteers. Keep that in mind as you have time available to help serve our community. The other initiative going on in the near west side is protect yourself from COVID. If you're walking around in our 7 neighborhoods, you may see a spray painted stencil on the ground. It is not spray paint, it's chalk, it is removable. Our ambassadors have been getting out and making sure to put that little message in some key places to help remind people to wash their hands, keep their mouth covered. So it's just a fun idea to really try and reinforce the importance of being cautious while we're in this health crisis. Then the other event happening weekly since we have gone into the health concerns is a new initiative called Made in the Near West Side. We are featuring restaurants every week, and they do a live Facebook presentation and have a special associated with that. So we've had 5 o'clock steakhouse. Tonight was Triciclo Peru. And then next week is going to be Two Mesa. First week was Lisa K. So we're really trying to work with our small businesses, making sure that they get some highlight and can make sure that they get some business through their doors. Keep your eye out for that. It's on our website. I would say the best bet is going to Facebook, and that was a Facebook Live event tonight. Then other things to note as the weekly Friday webinars. We started that at the beginning of the month, just trying to stay connected with folks. And it started on May 1st, and I did an interview with Captain Norman. We've also had Representative Goyke on. And this week we are taking a vacation, it's not a vacation day, but we are going to take the day off. And then next week we'll resume with Brittany getting into some more of those details, like she said tonight, for folks to understand more about the various projects, and we'll have more details to share and information. And that we're taping it and then been posting that on our YouTube page. That's where you'll find that. There's also a new initiative throughout Milwaukee in a number of neighborhoods called Milwaukee Active Streets. The streets are being closed and allowing for folks to just get out and be in the street without any concern. And for our neighborhood, that is extending from King Drive, I believe it's North and King, and then to Galena. And then Galena is in east-west, and it heads all the way to Washington Park. So if you Google Milwaukee Active Streets, you will be able to find information about it. There's a nice map. And as I said, I will put that in handouts so you have some information. But it sounds kind of like fun to be able to just walk down the street and not worry, because it's something we don't do often. We're still doing collections for College Court, and they are, of course, still in need of many items. And we are doing a drop-off on Friday, coordinated with their manager. The basic supplies are still in high demand. As you'll notice the picture from Walgreens, they did donate some laundry detergent, but there's no paper products on those shelves. And I think we all know how that goes. You're still not quite sure what you're going to get when you go to the grocery store. The location for the drop-off is at the what we call the Waypoint. It is located at 35th in Juneau in the Harley-Davidson parking lot across from the former McDonald's. You'll see the big sign out front. You'll notice the two big emblems for MPD. I can't see the other one because it's blocked right now. And the address is technically 1201Q. You'll need to enter off Juneau. The entrances on 35th Street are blocked. If you do have an extra bar of soap in the pantry or toilet paper, even cleaners, toilet cleaner, please drop them off tomorrow and we will get some supplies over to the folks there. Then MPD did share some information with us, so thank you, Officer Cavazos. She did share the contact guide that will be given with all that information I told you about. And then there's a new initiative with Milwaukee Bike Fed, and it's called Bike Index. It is an app where you can register your bike, and that's kind of cool. And I did hear about that before I took my bike trip last year and didn't register. So I have homework tonight as we finish up that you can make sure your bike is registered, and it, I believe, helps get through when it can go to that next step if maybe somebody's reselling a bike on Craigslist or whatever. So it can be a handy tool to make sure if your bike is stolen, you are able to get it again. And thank you for coming. This was a new format, as you can tell. We're still working on it. We welcome your feedback. Hope to continue doing something like this. And as the goal has been, whether Neon is live or on Zoom, we want to keep our event to 1 hour, being mindful of your time and making sure we're efficient. Always welcoming feedback, and hope that you will let us know. These are other options for finding some good information. Nextdoor does have a nice grouping there for all the neighborhoods that I'm able to tap into in addition to the listservs. Facebook is fantastic. And then we tend to do blogs about every week. And you can just go to the website directly for that.
All right.
Questions? Oh, go ahead.
So we do have one question and then a comment. There was, there was a couple. Okay, I'll read them because they're fun. One question was, how many times can we vote? Again, that was one time. Can we advocate for our projects? No, you couldn't. One of the questions, and this is, I'm reading this out loud for everybody who might want to know, was what's happening to the old George Webb building? And the response to that was the property was purchased by the city, by a real estate agent or purchased from the city by a real estate agent who intends to rehab it as their office space. Just for anybody who is wondering. Outside, a lot of thank yous. Oh, there was one question. Will the focus groups next week have an agenda sent out to folks? We don't really have an agenda for focus groups because they're a conversation, but we can send you reminders if you decide that you'd like to participate. And then we did receive the questions before. I'm trying to, you can tell I reduced my screen size so I noted them under the PowerPoint. And this resident's wondering, what are neighbors doing to keep community members engaged in public recreation spaces? So if you have any answers to that, you can add that to the comment bar now. And then the other question was, how are we preparing neighbors to understand the Active Streets program through the city? So I just promoted that here, and we'll continue to do that as the next few weeks go along until, as long as that's open. I'm definitely all for trying to make sure folks are aware of the ability to get out and be outside and be safe while they're doing it, which is generally one of the deterrents for folks to be able to be outside.
And then the next one is if you're interested in volunteering at Tiefenhaller Park, they are in search of volunteers. Connect with me if you are, and I will connect you with our contact there. If you don't know where Tiefenhaller Park is, it's just, is this right? Near the King Rec Center, is just a little bit west of there. Cecilia, can you give us a location? And it's a youth program. It operates year round. They do have a camp associated with it, and they do need some support with donations and bi-monthly giveaways. If you're able to help with that and support it in any way, do let me know, and I can get you in contact with Cecilia.
She is going to speak as soon as I can find her name on the list. There we go.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
So Tiefenthaler Park is located at in between 24th and Cherry and Galena. So we're west. We're about 10 blocks west of King Park.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then any other details about your organization and your specific needs you can share with us?
Well, one of the things that we're planning on doing right now is organizing a volunteer brigade that is willing to help us get masks out to people in our community, because we have a recreational space that people are still accessing. So we're just trying to mitigate the risk of COVID by handing out masks and hand washing kits and items that encourage people to leave the park, like sidewalk chalk, bubbles, things like that, gardening kits to go home with.
Neat. Okay. And to let everyone know, we embrace all partners around Milwaukee and are appreciative to have organizations like the one Cecilia's with. They are just very close to Near West Side Partners, and regardless of what neighborhood organization you're with, if you're working on making our neighborhoods better, that's what we're focusing on too. So we want to make sure that as good opportunities come forward to help Milwaukee be a great place to live, work, and play, we'd like to support those. And that's that. Again, thanks everybody so much for joining us tonight. Let me know if you have recommendations or suggestions. And do want to know, we did alter our time based on a previous survey. And if you think this time might be something that would work for you a little bit better, I'd love to hear about it. Thanks again. Have a great night, and we will be in touch.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a good night.